The debate over Lexington's panhandling ordinance went before the Kentucky Supreme Court today. What those on both sides said about the issue.
The madness is about to begin. We're live at Rupp Arena as UK basketball fans will soon get their first look at this year's team.
If you've not went through this, you don't know what it's like.
Some people in Jackson County are asking for your support, what they're doing to help flood victims in North Carolina.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. City leaders claim it's needed to protect public safety, but one man says it violates his rights to free speech.
Today, the Kentucky Supreme Court heard arguments for and against Lexington's panhandling ordinance. A man cited for panhandling 2 years ago decided to challenge the ordinance. WKYT's Victor Puente has more from today's hearing in our top story at 6.
This case could have an impact on who is allowed to ask for money along roads in the state of Kentucky. This morning, attorneys for both sides presented their arguments. In December of 2014, Dennis Champion was charged with panhandling in Lexington. This morning, his attorney argued that the ordinance he was arrested under is unjust because it targets content of speech and not where that speech is happening.
Whether the Lexington Fayette County urban government had the authority to criminalize the behavior that Dennis Champion was charged with.
A Fayette County prosecutor argued the ordinance was in the interest of public safety.
Was traffic impeded? And if so, for how long? A second? 30 seconds? A minute? Did somebody have to jump? Did the pedestrian have to jump out of the way at any time? Did somebody have to slam on their brakes?
Similar bans that have been challenged in federal courts have been found unconstitutional ever since the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last year that those bans required a compelling government interest. This morning, judges asked Jason Rothrock why the city didn't target drivers instead.
I mean, because the guy standing there holding the sign is not creating the traffic hazard. It would seem to me in that instance it was the driver who impeded traffic rather than ignore the beggar.
Champion's attorney argued that because the ordinance is targeted at a certain type of expression, soliciting money, it's a violation of the First Amendment.
Then an argument that it's focused on public safety is much more, makes much more sense.
Those judges asked Rothrock if the ordinance could also be applied to groups such as churches or charities who were fundraising. He said under the ordinance they could be prosecuted, but he was unaware of any such cases. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. And the Supreme Court will consider both arguments and should release its decision in the coming weeks. We looked at panhandling ordinances in other cities around the region. Louisville prohibits begging in particular places around the city, including near ATMs, private property, and near schools. Nashville and Cincinnati have similar ordinances. In Covington, it is only illegal to beg near City Hall. Indianapolis has a citywide ban on begging.
New tonight, a former Magoffin County school bus monitor has been charged with sexually abusing a child. Police arrested 20-year-old Dennis Bays earlier this week. They say he exposed himself to the child 3 or 4 times and sent sexually explicit messages to her. Police also say Bays inappropriately touched the child on a bus. The Magoffin County superintendent says Bays worked for the school district for 2 years but has been fired.
My concern now is the safety of our children, and that's the #1 concern that I have.
Along with sexual abuse, police charge Bays with harassing communications and distributing obscene matter to a minor.
We have new information tonight about a shooting that injured a businessman in Whitley County. The Corbin Times-Tribune reports that police now say Steve Pataki's wife shot him yesterday morning at the couple's home on 7th Street in Corbin. Police say the couple got into an argument and Pataki's wife claims he pulled her hair. Police say she told them she shot him but didn't mean to do it. At last check, Pataki was in critical condition. Police haven't filed charges but say they're still investigating.
A federal grand jury has indicted 2 men in connection to a string of drug overdoses in Rowan County. Investigators say Travis Clark of Cincinnati and Matthew Bowman of Moorhead distributed carfentanil. They say that led to 7 overdoses in Rowan County. If convicted, Clark and Bowman face at least 20 years in prison. Carfentanil is an opioid 10,000 times more powerful than morphine. New tonight, a Fayette County grand jury has indicted a man for a 2011 deadly hit-and-run crash. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, Kevin Wiley now faces leaving the scene of an accident and failure to render assistance charges. Police say Wiley's car hit 56-year-old Raymond Shields on Bryan Avenue in November of 2011. Shields later died at the hospital.
Governor Bevin talked today about the state Supreme Court's ruling that won't allow him to cut money from state colleges and universities without the legislature's approval. He cut 2% from universities this year, saying the money was needed for state pensions. The governor said he doesn't agree with the court's decision, but he won't ask to reconsider it.
This was a small $17.8 million that was in less than 1/3 of 1% of the state budget on an annual basis, so it was not something we were going to contest.
Yesterday, the governor's spokeswoman said he will release the money to the schools once Franklin Circuit Court orders him to do it. Attorney General Andy Beshear says a hearing will be held Monday on a motion calling for the governor to release that money.
Some cooler air has been with us the last few days, but it looks like temperatures will be warming up this weekend. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell joins us now with an early check of that forecast. It's going to be a hot one this weekend.
Yeah, downright hot as we get in the mid and upper 70s to around 80 degrees. We should be much cooler than that, and we're not going to be this weekend. Well above average, maybe about 10 degrees in some cases. Let's look to the outside right now here on our sky cam, and you can see that we have plenty of cloud cover that we are tracking, and we have been for most of the day. In southern parts of Kentucky, the clouds are even igniting a few showers. It's 66 right now in Lexington, so we backed off a little bit from where we were during the 5 o'clock hour. We're at 67 for that hour, so down just a little bit here. Winds are still coming in out of the east at around 8 miles per hour. Area wide, look to the south. That's where you're going to find some of the warmth. Low and mid 70s, while the rest of us are in the mid 60s around here. So a good little shot of some warmer air. When I throw in the cloud cover and the showers, you can see that we've got those on the move, trying their best to get into parts of Wayne County, and one that's in Laurel County as well. So we get into the weekend, everybody gets in on the 70s, and it looks a whole lot better out there. A small rain chance, but really a good looking weekend. I'll break it all down coming up.
Jim, thank you. It is here. Hundreds of people camped out just to get tickets for it. And this is the night they and thousands of other UK basketball fans have been waiting for.
This is Big Blue Madness night. All the fun begins in less than an hour from now. WKYT's Rob Bromley joins us live from Rupp Arena with the very latest. Rob.
Well, hello from here in Rupp Arena. The doors opened at 5:30, and right now the fans are starting to get into their seats. John Calipari begins his 8th year as the head coach of the Wildcats. He's taken 4 Kentucky teams to the Final Four and, of course, won the 2012 national title. What is it, you wonder, that keeps Cal going? Well, since coming to Kentucky, he's had 28 players selected in the NBA draft, 21 in the first round.
The stuff that's happened, if we can keep this going, it keeps me young, because nothing excites me more than seeing young people get better, seeing young people grow up. Like Isaac was in my office yesterday, and I just smiled. I said, "You're not even the same kid." He said, "I know, Coach." He said, "I don't feel like the same guy." And there's nothing that keeps you young.
So Cal is staying young, and that's good news because he's had an outstanding run here at Kentucky, and all signs are that it will continue here in this 2016-2017 season. Coming up shortly in sports, we'll hear from Brad Calipari, who will play for his dad this year. Amber, Barb, back to you. That's it from here on the floor of Rupp Arena.
Wish we were in the middle of all of it. A full house will be on hand at Rupp Arena tonight, and UK basketball fans are excited to get that first look at this year's team. WKYT's Monique Blair talked to some of them as they arrived at Rupp.
The doors to Rupp Arena just opened about a half hour ago, and as you can see, UK fans are still filing in. This year, for the first time here at Rupp Arena and for the first time this season, UK fans will have to walk through a metal detector to get inside the arena, but fans tell me it's worth it. Tonight is a night that really is all for the fans, a chance to show the public what's in store for the upcoming season.
We watch the scrimmage, so I know they're fast, but I just like to watch them and see how they do. I know they're going to be great.
It makes sense that it's called the Big Blue Nation because people truly travel from all over to come see the Cats. Phyllis Shepard came all the way from Columbus. Another couple drove from Indiana. And Heather Brown and her friends who are celebrating her bachelorette party are here from Western Kentucky. Everyone just wants to catch a glimpse of their Cats in person.
I've been a fan my whole life. This is what we do. We always come to games every year, so it just made sense to come for the bachelorette party.
Now, Big Blue Madness will begin tonight at 7 o'clock, and we are expecting to hear from both Coach Cal and Coach Mitchell. UK fans tell me this is the night that just really jump-starts the basketball season. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And we have more Big Blue coverage on our website. Just go to WKYT.com.
It's been nearly a week since Hurricane Matthew brought more than a foot of rain to parts of North Carolina, which led to devastating floods. Some people in Jackson County saw what happened there and decided they wanted to do something to help the flood victims. WKYT meteorologist Mike Linden has the story.
Now you want to make good and sure that you sand every bit of it.
Marvin Wilder is a technology instructor at Kentucky Tech at the Jackson County High School. Last week, Marvin's brother David called him from the road.
He said, "Brother, can you help me?" And I said, "Well, we'll see. What's up now?"
David was calling from North Carolina, where he was doing business for his trucking company. It was then the brothers decided to do something, anything, to help those in need.
If we was in that situation with a tornado or something like that, we would appreciate the help.
Parked behind the high school is a trailer the brothers are trying to fill up with donations. Anything from cleaning supplies to water to canned food is a must.
Wilder says his goal is to have the trailer filled up before it heads to North Carolina. And he says if you'd like to donate, it will be open all weekend long here at the vocational school in Jackson County.
The trailer will move to Berea on Monday and to Mount Vernon on Tuesday before heading to North Carolina.
To everybody that can hear this, please donate, because someday it may be you. And if you've not went through this, you don't know what it's like.
In Jackson County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
If you would like to make a donation, we have a list of drop-off locations on our website. Just go to WKYT.com and look for this story.
It had been serving customers for decades, but a longtime Central Kentucky business has been destroyed in a fire. The latest on the investigation next.
Tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a fire that destroyed a Franklin County business.
That fire started just before 6 o'clock last night at Wilson's Automotive on Cardwell Lane in Frankfort. Mike Wilson says he started the business in 1982 and sold the company to an employee a few years ago, but he still owned the building.
A big customer base, so there's all the customers are going to find somewhere else to go now.
He says the fire destroyed tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and tools. No one was injured.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Pretty good looking day overall temperature-wise out there for us. Now, if you looked outside for any extended period of time, you saw all the clouds, so that was not exactly the most attractive part of the day. But we're going to get a whole lot better into the weekend. Right now, we are running in the 60s here in central Kentucky and northeastern portions of the state. But you get to the south and southeast, man, they are really warm with low and mid-70s still hanging on in that area. Back here at home, though, 66 in Lexington, 63 into Danville. So a little bit cooler air showing up, which will be nice because you want that when you head out to high school football, as it is tonight. A southern shower possible. We've been watching some moisture creep along the Kentucky-Tennessee state line, and even a little broken shower that rolled into parts of Laurel County. So I think that would be the area that gets in on any rain. Here in central Kentucky, I think it's a dry night for us. But just keep in mind some of our southern counties into Whitley County, Laurel County, Pulaski County, McCreary County, those general areas, I think you could run into a little bit of rain here this evening. And you can see it trying to invade right now. Again, not a big deal, but just enough to be a nuisance if you're out at a game, perhaps. Mainly just cloudy skies throughout the rest of the area here. There you see the clouds going all the way up just south of Indianapolis. So a good swath of cloud cover showing up across Kentucky here for us today. Tomorrow, I think we'll get a break in the clouds. We'll see more sunshine try to filter in as well, which means we'll warm up quite a bit. I think we're back into the mid and upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Looks like a fantastic start to the weekend. Here's what we've got with our hour by hour, still holding on to some of that rain across extreme southern sections of the Commonwealth, and we go into the overnight. That rain wraps up. Clouds will kind of linger, but they will try to clear up as we head into your Saturday, which looks a whole lot better for us until the frontal boundary starts dropping in, and as it does, it'll push maybe some more cloud cover in. There might be a rogue shower try to develop again on Sunday, but other than that, I think we're pretty quiet for a while. The next really big push of anything major happening won't happen until next week. I'm at Tuesday here, and you can see this is overall, these are upper level temperatures, but this just shows you that we're breaking out into some milder air here. But watch what happens as we've got a trough that will start digging in late next week and into next weekend as well. Another big time shot of just downright cold air. Probably upper 50s for highs at this point. There may be an indication. Some of the data tries to drop that a little bit. And as this gets here and we see what kind of a true dose of a chill it's going to be, we might modify that as well. But nonetheless, certainly showing up and trying its best to roll through here. It'll also spark some chances of some showers as well when that new air mass rolls in. Saturday and Sunday. Notice I've got a 20% chance. I think before 11 o'clock tonight, I'm going to look at some of the new data coming in. I might drop that to 10 or maybe completely remove it from the forecast because I think we're in pretty good shape this weekend overall, guys. So enjoy it.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. You too.
And just ahead, we head back to Rob on the floor of Rupp Arena.
All right, we are getting closer and closer to the start of Big Blue Madness as it will be getting underway here at 7 o'clock. Among Cal's talented freshman class, Sasha really surprised him the way he has come in and played so far. That's next in sports. We are exclusively on the floor as we get ready for Big Blue Madness. Getting closer and closer now. The big show starts at 7 o'clock tonight. As for this freshman class that John Calipari has brought into the University of Kentucky now, and it is the #1 ranked recruiting class, it includes 3 big men. And the one who has shown the most improvement probably since he arrived, Sasha Killia-Jones.
I think mainly my mental, just, that'd be the biggest thing. But then also I was improved little bits and pieces here and there. My jumper's gotten a lot more consistent. Just being able to battle on the post, have gotten stronger. Post moves have gotten better. Being able to play off the pick and roll, the 2-man game, rebound better than I did when I first got here. Block more shots. I think I've just gotten better in a lot of different areas.
Look, I knew Sasha was good. I wouldn't have him here if I didn't think he was good. But I didn't know he was this good. So now he's finally pushing through knees. He's not trying to say, I can't go. He's staying up with the pack.
John Calipari will be coaching his son Brad this season, so he joins the likes of other coaches at UK, like Eddie Sutton, Adolph Rupp, and Tubby Smith, who have all done the same.
Growing up, Brad Calipari naturally wanted to play for his father, but as the young man grew, he began to think about getting away. Still, when it came time to decide where to pursue college basketball, the pendulum swung back toward the man with the same last name.
When I was younger, yeah, you'd always want to play for your dad, but as I got older, I kind of started to go away from that and started thinking about what I'm going to do for myself, and then came back to thinking what's the best opportunity for me and what opportunities I had, and I felt like this was the best place for me.
He might have been away at prep school for a while, but Brad Calipari knows about the quality of Kentucky basketball and what it's going to be like as the son of the coach. He says he doesn't worry about additional pressure.
I don't think so. Personally, I don't. Other people might think so, but I don't think about it.
And when he screws up, yes, he hears it from the coach, who treats him almost like all the other players.
He's gonna treat me the same as these guys. If Isaiah or Bam or anyone's doing something wrong, he'll yell at them just like he'll yell at me.
Almost, because John has told Brad, call me Dad, not Coach.
No, we talked about it. He said he didn't want me to.
He didn't want you to
call him Coach. Yeah.
Why?
He wanted to keep the father-son relationship more.
All right, we take a quick look at our game time top 10. Several of our teams in action tonight. Number 1, Scott County is at Bryan Station. Lafayette is 2, followed by LCA 3. Danville number 4. Madison Central and Southwestern tied at number 5. Pulaski County is 7, followed by Boyle County, Madison Southern, and Rockcastle County is 10. And out of Keeneland, the Buffalo Trace Franklin County Stakes for 3-year-old fillies as they come down the stretch. Kurt Becker has the call.
Final furlong of the Buffalo Trace Franklin County. Miss Ella leads it. And a late run from Fair Point. Miss Ella, Fair Point. Miss Ella with the lead. Fair Point, a final try. Miss Ella hanging on by a neck from Fair Point.
All right, good race. Miss Ella holding on to beat Fair Point in the running of the Buffalo Trace Franklin County. Remember, Big Blue Madness starting at 7 o'clock. It's on the SEC Network. We'll wrap it up after the break.